Hey everybody, my name's Aaron Blaze, and for the last couple of months now, I've been working on a new character design course for my website, creatureartteacher.com. Now, many of you know already that I was with Walt Disney Feature Animation for over 21 years. During that time, I did a lot of character designs. I did a lot of animation for films such as The Lion King, Aladdin, Mulan. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to put together this course that kind of covers everything that I think about when I'm doing character designs. Like I said, I've been at it for several months now, so there's a lot of stuff in there. The course is really growing. It's over 20 videos, many hours of content where I just, like I said, I cover all the different aspects, all the different things that I think about, from using shape language to different types of design, finding appeal, finding line of action, all those different things that I think about when I'm designing my characters. The other thing that I'm going to do, that I'm actually in the process of doing now, is I'm going to take you through my entire, you're going to be sitting over my shoulder basically. We're going to videotape the whole thing, where I'm going to take some characters right from the beginning and start designing them and go all the way through finished designs, model sheets, color, all that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm in the process of doing now. So there's a lot there. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think you guys will enjoy it. But in the meantime, what I thought would be kind of interesting is just to take one of those videos and give you guys a little taste of what's going to be in the course. And so one thing that I struggled with when I was starting out doing character designs was, how do I design cuteness? Cute was always tough for me to do. And so I have a video on how to draw cute. And so that's what I'm putting out and giving you guys today. I hope you enjoy it. And in the next couple of weeks, I'll be finishing up this course. It'll be available on my website, like I said, creatureartteacher.com. Over 20 videos, lots and lots of content. For those of you that have gotten my other videos or my other courses in the past, this one will be just as full, just as big. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. So in this next video, I want to have some fun. If you're going to be a character designer, or if you're going to do it for any amount of time, I've been doing it for a long time. At some point, you're going to have to design something cute. And a lot of people struggle with cute. I know I did. When I first started out, we all kind of know what cute is, but it's really kind of hard to draw it. And it's hard to keep it consistent. And so I thought I could go through and take you through some of my methods on drawing cute. It's a lot of fun. And when you really nail it, it's really satisfying to get people to go, "Oh, it's cute." So the first thing I want to talk about is, first of all, the way our brains are wired. It's why we fall in love with teddy bears, all that kind of stuff. Our brains are wired in order to react to the cute proportions, the baby proportions. And that's what I want to go over today, is just talk about those proportions and talk about some of the methods that I use when I'm drawing those proportions and some of the features and that sort of thing. So why don't we go ahead and dive in. And I'm just gonna start scribbling. Now, the first thing we want to think about are those proportions that I was talking about. Normally, we see cute, and I'll show you how quickly you can get a reaction. Normally a person's head, we've got our eye line somewhere in here. A person's head is like so, somewhere in there like that. And we've got ears, nose, mouth, eyes right here, okay? So there's a normal, average, proportioned person, hair. Now, as an adult, when you look at that's not cute. That's just, we're not wired to react to that. But if we take some of these proportions and we move them around, then all of a sudden we're going to start seeing cuteness. We're going to start hitting that awe factor. So now when we draw that head, I'm going to move this eye line way down here, and I'm going to put that chin right here. So look how much cranium I'm giving this little character. And I'm going to drop the ears down here. I'm going to give them little ears, little features. And I'm going to make that nose small. Give them a little nose. You know, babies, and that's what I'm drawing. I'm drawing the baby. Babies have, you know, small little features, except for their eyes. But those eyes are way down low. Their eyes tend to be big. And here I'm not drawing them super big. That's one mistake I see people do, is they'll kind of go overboard with it. They'll make the eyes a little too big. I think you can get better cuteness drawing the eyes a little bit smaller. Now, it's just a matter of taste. Sometimes the whatever you're working on might call for the bigger eyes. But I like doing eyes right about in here with the little eyebrows, like so. And just a little tiny mouth. And babies are cute. I'm going to say cute a lot. Babies are cute and funny in the way that their mouths are kind of all over the place. And so the key is to be really, really dainty. You know, you can make the mouth all kinds of different shapes. And big pupils, like so, with the eyes. Like that. So now you've got cute. And their hair tends to be a little fluffy. So I'll give them a little fluffy hair down in here. Now let's look at the head to body proportion. I'm going to turn this a little bit. I just want to straighten that head out. Now, when I'm doing a character design of a character that's supposed to be cute, I'll push that head to body proportion. Now in a normal kid, a baby, a toddler, I think that head proportion is like 4 to 5 heads high. But I like to push it like 2 heads or 2.5 heads, which is what I'm going to do here. So if I come in here, and we'll give them a little neck too. Just this little neck. I actually bring it back there like so. Here we go. Little neck coming off this big cranium. And little shoulders. To me, to hit that cute factor, the other thing you want to do is look at the contrast. You're going to have like the big head and the tiny little mouth, and you're going to see much bigger contrasts with features. The arms will be kind of big and squishy with tiny little dainty hands, and that really helps with the cuteness factor. Okay, so let's give them like a big belly. And the other thing too, I've talked about doing your straights and curves and how dynamic that can make your drawing. Well, in the case of drawing little squishy kids or little squishy animals, a lot of times you don't have too many straights in the design, so you might want to forego that rule or just pull back on it. So if we, and they all have these little tummies, little puppy tummies, I call them. I remember when my kids were small, it just cracked me up, their little proportions. And the way I like to draw babies' arms, they've got the little squishy fat rolls on there. They've got them everywhere. But if I look at a baby's arm, there's a shoulder. I like to kind of get this little rhythm going like so. And there's an elbow right there if we're looking at it from behind. And you get a little squishy this there. And then right down into a little hand right there. Or if you looked at it from the front, nice and squishy. And I like to make the forearms bigger than the upper arm. There's just something about that for me that's really kind of pleasing and squishy and cute. And so once again, I'm going to draw these little thumb and little fingers coming off of a little, fat little chubby hand. like so. That's actually a little bit small. It's a little too small for my tastes. I was going a little overboard. Here we go. There we go, right into that little hand. Like so. So that's what I'm going to do here. Is if I come over here, and let's just draw him out. So draw him with his arms out. Those little hands, little chubby hands, like so. You know, if I'm going to turn this hand this way, you know, just so you can see. If I turn this hand this way, I usually make, if I'm looking at the hand, I'm going to draw it a little bit wider than it is long, rather than making, you know, our hands tend to be kind of squarish right here. I like to squash it for little fingers, because then I can get, here we go. I can get this kind of feel. Just a little thumb, and then these little fingers. We've all seen baby fingers, and they're really, really cute and tiny. And I like to draw little baby hands like so. There you go. So it's, you know, thinking about the anatomy of a regular hand, but then just kind of squash it and make cute little proportions, the cute proportions with it. Like so. Little baby hand. So that's how I think about when I'm drawing. Cute, 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 cute. Okay? So now we got this little kid. And they tend to be a little bow-legged. You could, you know, when the baby's, you know, in the womb, the baby's all curled up, and it takes a baby, even a toddler, a while before those legs will straighten out. And their legs to body are a little shorter too. So here I'm doing, if we look, I'm doing him about 2.5, you know, 1, 2.5, heads high. And make that a little bigger to get these, you know, those cute proportions. And you can see I'm going a little bit bow-legged. I love making them a little bit bow-legged. It's just really cute. There we go. And you notice too, I always talk about, once again, I'm going to go back to the straights and curves, you know, finding, if I was drawing an adult leg, like so, like if I was looking at a pose like this kid's in, you know, an adult leg, if we're looking at the torso, you know, here's the torso coming down, like so, rib cage, chest. I would normally kind of draw this as a straight line, basically, and here we go, get a straight there, and a straight there. And, you know, look for these places where I can do these kind And when I'm doing the drawings of the baby, the designs for the baby, I just want to kind of make them look like little Michelin, you know, the tire guy, little Michelin men, little, you know, squishy, round, little shapes for those feet and legs. I'll put a big baggy diaper on them, like so. Okay, so those are the legs. And then coming down into the feet are just like the hands. I make them little squishy, tiny little toes. So if we had, and I'm going to turn them in a little bit. Turning them in tends to make them feel a little more cute. So I'm turned in this way. Maybe bring that big toe up a little bit. Maybe, you know, the other toes are down. But very, very small and very dainty. That's what I'm trying to do here. Coming right towards us. Maybe there's a toe here. Like so. Tiny, tiny little feet. So if I drew, you know, a baby's foot, maybe he's got his leg bent, like so. Chubby, chubby calves. You know, maybe he's sitting on his butt like this. And there's his belly. I'm going to turn his foot in a little bit. Like so. And then tiny little toes. And I could, like I said, like I did before, I can turn these toes down like that. Really, really simple. Treat everything very simple. So that we've got these proportions. Putting those eyes really low on the head. Keeping those ears down nice and low. Keeping them small. Look at the spacing between the eyes too. I've really widened out the eyes. That adds to the cute factor. That really helps a lot. A lot of times if you put those eyes too close together, it'll lose the cuteness. If we put the nose here, and we have big eyes, and we put them close together like this, it loses that a little bit of cuteness. It starts looking a little weird, and so I like to keep them kind of spread out. And it's interesting. Let me turn this off. It's interesting because I can. Let's just do a cute proportion, like so. We'll bring it way down here, real squishy. And we'll do a nose, a little nose, eyes, and a little mouth, little ears. Let's bring this back. Now it's amazing to me how it's not just humans that are wired to feel that cuteness factor, to see the cuteness factor. Here, here's a human baby, very stylized, but drawn to look cute, and you can feel a sense of cuteness to it, like so. But then we could take this and just change a couple of things. Like so. Now you've got a puppy, and it's just as cute. It's amazing to me that once you start getting down into the little baby proportions, that it starts becoming really universal as far as going from species to species. You can make anything cute by following these proportions. If I went and if I changed the ears again, and went and did this. Look at this. Now all of a sudden, I've got a little elephant. So you can, if you think about those proportions and really follow through with them, it's really universal. You could really jump around and apply it to a lot of different species, different things. The other thing too is keeping that line work soft and simple. A lot of different angle changes will start to kill the cuteness factor. And that's why cute sometimes is so difficult to draw, because sometimes people get in there and they try to draw every fat or whatever, and it's not about that. It's about simplicity and smoothness. You want things to be smooth. Let me pull over some that I've done in preparation for this. Here's a bunch of babies that I put together, that I drew. And you can see I've kept everything really round and plump. You can see those forearms and the arms I was talking about, where I get them kind of chunky and fat. And getting that, you want to get this shape to that body, that little potato shape to the body, to really emphasize that puppy tummy I was talking about. You want to, all of this, and look at the head to body proportions. Here's one that's about 2.5. All these are, and the younger the baby, you can push those proportions even more. So here is a real young baby, and I've pushed those proportions even more. It's almost a 1-to-1, like, you know, it's almost 2 heads, and that's it. So very, very simple. Here I've gone a little bigger with the eyes, and for me, that starts getting a little bit to the, you know, I'm pushing the limit right there as far as how big I want those eyes to get. Because I think right here, if you look at this one, I think you can get just as nice of effect, if not a better effect, by keeping those eyes large and, you know, relative to the rest of the face, but not over the top, and keeping them spread apart a little bit. And the other thing too is you can go really simple with the expressions like I'm doing here. But look, you know, there's real simple, very confident, and that's another key. Get confident with your line. Put it in there, stroke it right down, and keep those lines nice, simple, round, and cute. Okay? You can see here, I'm also thinking about anatomy. Even though, you know, I'm trying to do a cute little character, I'm not going to forget anatomy. So I know that there's a little tiny little shoulder blade under those rolls of fat, and I know how the arms are connecting and all that kind of stuff, so that I can get some form. Even though I'm stylizing them, I'm getting some form to these little characters. Okay? And the same thing here. Okay? So I make sure not to forget the anatomy, the things that are happening underneath. Let's go ahead, and once again, I want to show you those cute proportions. You know, if you look at, let me pull this over. If we look at these two together, you know, this little guy and this little guy, there's not a lot of difference in the proportions. What's different, obviously, is I've just put some fur and changed the ears and you know, changed the body on this little guy. But they're pretty much, it's the same, you know, it's the same proportions, okay? This really big head to body ratio, and the, you know, the little eyes, everything set kind of low. All the features are kind of squat and tiny and dainty. And that's the thing that you want to get when you're doing cute. Here's another one with the little elephant. Once again, same thing. All the same proportions. If you look at this little guy, different than the expression, and this guy over here, they're very similar in their proportions. Even the, you know, with the elephant, I kind of squashed up his little arms and gave him little feet, and this kind of made everything kind of squished and dainty, like I'm doing with the babies. So, you know, the more you do this, the more you'll find. Here's another one. Here I just kind of sketched out this little bunny. Once again, doing the same thing, just playing with those same proportions. And that's the other thing too. Here you can see I was kind of squishing it and playing with it. You can get really squishy if you're animating these characters. You can have a lot of fun with them. They can be bouncy and kind of awkward, and it's just, they're a lot of fun to animate. I've animated babies in the past, and it's just a lot of fun. So here's a couple here. I'm going to turn this off, turn these on. Very quick sketches. So this is how I would normally sit down and start drawing these little guys out with, you know, just sitting down. Maybe there's an ear there, a little nose, and trying. This is a fun thing to do, and just, you know, play with. Just doing little sketches like so. Maybe bring that head down around here like this. Maybe he's got his hands on his knees. Maybe he's looking at like a little spider web or something over here. So just sit down and have fun just scribbling out lots of little poses like I've done here. And you'll find you'll make little discoveries of what works, what doesn't work. You know, one thing that I found when I was designing these little characters and animating them is that it can be kind of difficult to bend the limbs and get really dynamic poses with little stumpy characters like this. And so that's something to play with. So if I were to do something like this, let's say we got a little character kind of looking off this way, like so. So if we're doing that, if I'm doing that, and let's say maybe this arm is down, and this arm, I'm going to bend it. Well, that stumpy little arm can be kind of difficult sometimes. Shrink that up. Now here's the shoulder, but it's really just kind of just getting in there and just really drawing everything kind of compact. So you can see what I'm doing here. You know, normally if I drew a person's arm bent, you know, you'd have this going on and, you know, something like that with the hand, like so. Well, you can't really do that in this case. We've got these tiny little stumpy arms. There we go. I couldn't resist. And so here, little fingers, a little hand, maybe the thumb over there. And here I want to do a little thumb and little fingers sticking out like so. Got a big belly. Like that. So, and here I want to maybe do that his little leg bent. Right there. And flatten that out because he's on the floor. Maybe we see a heel and some little toes back there, like so. Maybe a little bit right there. So just go in there and like I'm doing here, don't be afraid to just get in, start scribbling, and play with some of those proportions. Play with those proportions that make cute. Remember, it's the big head, the low set eyes, the eyes set further apart, the bigger eyes, tiny little nose, little mouth, all that kind of stuff. You know, the other thing too is you can have some fun with expression. You know, here I can open that little mouth up like so. Maybe he's got one tooth. And we'll bring his eye, we could probably bring his eye up just a little bit. Like so. Little eyelashes. So get in there, have some fun with it. There we go. Like that. Have some fun playing with those proportions, doing gestures with the body, playing with, you know, look at babies too. I mean, really look at how they're built and that squishiness. That's the thing that you want to get. You want to get in there, you want to find that squishiness and really push those proportions. Find out what works, realize what doesn't work. You know, like I said, if you get in there and you've got too much searching in your line and too many angle changes and too much anatomy, that's the other thing that people will do. They'll put too much anatomy in their cute drawings and it loses that cuteness. Remember, simplicity is the key. You want to hit those proportions and keep everything really simple, and that will retain the cuteness, okay? So let's look at these one more time. Keeping things very simple, the baby proportions, you know, keeping all of that, and remember that it's really consistent from species to species. You can keep those same proportions over and over and over again, and you'll retain that cute factor. I don't care if you're drawing a spider, you know, if you use these proportions, or a snake, you can make it cute, okay? So that's drawing cute. Why don't we go ahead and move on to the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please hit the red subscribe button down below. Spread the word. And also, if there's something that you're not seeing that you'd like to see, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot.